Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is my lesson plan, so I will start to present my lesson plan. Name of teacher Nurabi Oktaviani. Name of school MTSN 2 Tapin. Subject English Grade 8. Topic don't forget it please. Chapter 12. Text type short functional text. Skill writing and speaking. Time allocations 15 minutes. And I will skip the core competence, so let's go to the basic competence and indicators of competence achievement. The first basic competence is to compare social functions, text structure, and linguistic elements of several special texts in the form of short message by issuing and asking for information regarding school activity according to the context of their use. There are two indicators of competence achievement. The first is to identify structure of short functional text about simple short message, to describe short functional text about simple short message according to the structure. And then for the second basic competence is to capture contextually related social functions, text structure, and language elements of special text in the form of short message, very short and simple, related to school activity. There are also two indicators of competence achievement. The first is to create a short functional text about simple short message that is good, interesting, and precise. And the second is to perform the short functional text about simple short message that is good, interesting, and precise in front of the class. So the next is learning objective. In the end of class, the students will be able to analyze short functional text about short message that have been prepared in a good grammar and meaningful way. The second is the students will be able to present their own short functional text about simple short message in front of the class. There are 4 attitudes values. The first is religious, nationalist, integrity, and mutual cooperation. And for learning materials, for concept, social function, a short message is a brief text to convey something to others that the person is doing or not doing something. So this is the example of short message. The next is principle, generic structure, purpose, name of person or people, and the one who write the short message. Dominant language features. Short message usually use simple present tense. For the example, after having lunch, do your homework and take a bath. And for procedure, in the end of the class, the student will write short functional text about simple short message. Learning materials for remedial, a short functional text about simple short message that are good, interesting, and precise by issuing and asking for information regarding school activity according to the context of their use. And learning materials for enrichment, social function, generic structure, and language features, and short functional text and form of short message, both written or oral. And for learning method, I use scientific approach as the approach, and I use learning model, communicative language teaching or CLT. And for learning media, I use LCD projector, poster, laptop, and textbooks. And for learning sources, the first is buku siswa mata pelajaran bahasa Inggris kelas 8, poster, module or learning materials, and another relevant sources. And for teaching and learning activity, the time allocation is 15 minutes. For opening activity, the time is 2 minutes. Teacher is doing the opening by reciting salam in praying to start the lesson. As the reflection of religious values, and checking the presence of the students as the reflection of disciplined behavior, preparing the student to follow the process of learning, short functional text about short message, and for a perception, connecting the learning materials, theme, or activities that will be done to the students' experience in the previous level in class 7. And for motivation, giving the description of the benefit to learn the materials, telling the learning objectives to the students and asking the questions, and giving reference, telling the student about the material that will be discussed today, telling the core competence, basic competence, indicators, and minimum graduation criteria of the meeting, dividing learning group, explaining mechanism of the implementation of learning experience based on the learning steps. And for mind activity in 12 minutes, in literation activities, students are given motivation or stimulation to focus attention on the topic by doing viewing, observing, reading, listening. For viewing, the teacher displays relevant pictures or photos or videos. In observing, the teacher showing posters from short functional text about short message as an example. In reading, students are asked to read material from textbook or other supporting books from the internet or related material in form of short functional text in short message. And for listening, students are asked to listen to the material given by the teacher, which is related to short functional text in form of short message. Chapter 12, page 197, and create simple short message. And for critical thinking, the teacher gives students the opportunity to identify as many questions as possible related to the example presented and will be answered through learning activities. For example, what is a short message? What is the purpose of short message? How many steps for making a good short message? And to develop creativity, curiosity, the ability to formulate questions to form critical thoughts that need to live smartly and lifelong learning. For example, the meaning of short message is, the generic structure and dominant language features of short message are, the function and the steps for making short message are. And for collaboration and critical thinking, students gather relevant information to answer the questions that have been identified through the activity observing, interviewing, collecting, and reading. In reading, students are asked to explore their knowledge by reading reference books about how to make structured short messages that are good, interesting, and precise. And in representing, learners do the following activities. The students work in groups to analyze the general, functional, and dominant language features of short message based on the original examples. And then the students discuss it in groups. And for reviewing, the students exchange information about how to make a good short message. And for critical thinking, students in their groups discuss processing the observational data in a way, discussing about how to identify structure of short functional text, about simple short message, how to describe it, and how to make simple short message that are interesting and precise, that have been collected or summarized in previous activities. And for processing information that has been collected from the result of previous activities or meetings, as well as the result of observing activities and the activity of gathering information that is ongoing with the help of questions on the worksheet. And the students doing their performance in making a simple short message. And for verification and critical thinking, learners discuss the result of their observation and verify the result of their observation with data or theory in the source book through activities and present in front of the class about their own simple short message. And for the generalization communication, students are discussing to summarize the result of the result of discussion in the form of conclusion based on the result of the analysis verbally, in writing or other media to develop an attitude of honesty, consciousness, tolerance, ability to think systematically, express opinions politely, and present the result of the classical group discuss about simple short message that are interesting and precise, express opinions as about the presentation, summarize the important points that emerge in the new learning activities carried out in the form of a written observation report about simple short message that are interesting and precise. Answering question, ask question, and complete the competency test contained in the student handbook or on the worksheet that has been provided individually to check student mastery of the subject matter. And for closing activity, the student will make summary with the guidance of the teacher about the important points of the image in the new learning activities carried out in 1 minute. And the teacher checking student work completed immediately and give awards to groups that have good performance and collaboration. And for assessment, remedial, and enrichment, for assessment technique, observation or journal, observation assessment is based on observing the attitudes and behaviors of students, both related to the learning process and in general. There are also 4 points: religious, nationalist, integrity, and mutual cooperation. And for cognitive, I will take written test, and psychomotor, I will take performance. And there is a rubric and also aspect of writing assessment. There are suitability, grammatical, vocabulary, and clarity of meaning. And for aspect of speaking assessment, there are grammar, vocabulary, comprehension, fluency, pronunciation, and task accomplishment. So this is the end of my lesson plan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.